What's good, you sexy studs? Today's video, we're going to be going over a bit of a gimmick Warlock build. We already went over a really good juicer high damage Warlock build yesterday with the sanguine alchemy of all exotics. And in this one, we're going for a bit more of a fun tool, slightly gimmicky, but really awesome and definitely unique Warlock build, courtesy of some of these new season artifact mods. Now, before we jump into the breakdown, I do just want to let you guys know the core 4 components of what is making this happen. One of them is actually Facet of Defiance, as this will allow our finishers to create a detonation that either jolts, scorches, slows, severs, or makes targets volatile based on the damage type of our equipped super. That's what's causing all the enemies to be volatile around us whenever we do cast a finisher. Another one is going to be Total Carnage from the artifact, to where after we finish a powerful combatant, we gain temporary damage resist. This lasts for 10 seconds, and this will just help keep you alive. All right, very helpful. And then right next to it in the 4th column, we have Debilitating Wave, in which finishers emit a damaging wave that matches the element of your currently equipped super. Something I want to note about this is that it literally basically shoots off like a wave frame shot of the angle in which you were looking when you finish that enemy. It'll send the wave that way in which you were looking before you finish the enemy, which can be pretty useful in some situations, especially useful if there's a big group around you, along with everything else that we're doing here. And then the last piece that is really helping out and contributing here is going to be the Spirit of the Assassin exotic intrinsic trait on our exotic class item. This allows us to go invis after we cast a finisher or a powered melee final blow. These are the core 4 setups that allows us to do some gimmicky shenanigans with our finishers. And I also want to stress that the weapons per se don't really matter the most. It's mainly these 4 core components. The weapons are kind of just gravy. You can kind of just play around with them based on your play style. You'll see the setup that we have in the breakdown, but I just really wanted to hammer that home, that these are the core 4 components of what makes all of this happening. And let's go ahead and hop into the breakdown. All right, so now that we went over like the core 4 of what everything that makes this build really good, we'll go ahead and talk about everything else. All right, so we'll start off with the subclass here. Your super honestly doesn't really matter. It's based off your preference off of the subclass verb that you want, whether you want to scorch, jolt, make enemies volatile, whatever, make your super that. I just have mine as a Nova Bomb. Also keep in mind that we are running Facet of Purpose, so any orb you get will give you that same boost or benefit based on your super. For example, we have Nova Bomb, so we get Void over Shield every time we pick up an orb. I'm also running Feed the Void for Devour for survivability, and then Helion because I like it over all of these personally, although you could probably mess around a little bit with the Bleak Watcher if you so desire. Vortex Grenade. Your grenade really doesn't matter that much. I am running the Arcane Needle. Now, we do have Facet of Awakening, rapidly defeating targets with light or darkness damage, or super final blows generate an elemental pickup of the matching damage type. This is very important because we are going to be running a Void weapon in our energy slot, so we can make Void Breaches. This is very important. I guess core 5. We also have Facet of Balance, rapidly defeating targets with light damage, grants melee energy, rapidly defeating targets with darkness damage, grants grenade energy. We'll take that, and then another staple of any prismatic build, Facet of Protection. This helps you keep you alive. We'll happily take that. I am running a Healing Rift for a certain reason that you will see, although Phoenix Dive and Helion is a very good combo. There's a very specific reason why I am running Healing Rift here though, and you will see why. That is because the other perk on our exotic class item to match Spirit of the Assassin is Spirit of the Vesper. Our rifts are going to periodically release arc shockwaves. That is why I have a Healing Rift on. Otherwise, I always run Phoenix Dive with Helion. Also, important mods on your class item would be Proximity Ward. Gain a very powerful overshield while performing your finisher. I think this overshield is like 90% DR. You're literally unable to die when casting a finisher with this mod on. Put this mod on. I also have Rifle Attraction, so that we pick up nearby orbs every time we cast our rift. And then since we're going to be doing finishers up the wazoo, that's like the whole purpose of this setup, you might as well put on a special finisher and go double special. Speaking of double special, we have Choir of One. This is one of the best guns in the game. If you don't have Choir of One, maybe rock a Void Unforgiven. Unforgiven only comes in Void, a Void SMG, or maybe something like Graviton Lance, for example, could be a really good substitute if you don't have Choir of One. Also, I am using Lingering Dread because it has chill clip. I don't have the new double fire frame Stasis GL that has chill clip, so I'm having to use old Lingering Dread. Now, the artifact, okay? Why are we running the Lingering Dread? One reason, concussive reload. Okay, dope. Also, this helps get Devour up, Power from Pain. Can be very, very helpful because we will be weakening a lot of enemies. We already went over Total Carnage for more damage resist after we cast a super. And then Debilitating Wave to send that wave frame shot in the direction of which the enemy we are looking at when we perform the finisher. We also do have Supernova, picking up a Void Breach, cause your next source of void damage to create a large weakening pulse. That is another reason why we're running a void energy weapon and why we're running Facet of Awakening. So we can pick up Void Breaches for Supernova. Okay, cool. And then your last artifact slot, honestly, doesn't really matter too much. I just went with Conductive Cosmic Crystal. Your arc abilities, void abilities, and weapons with Dark Ether Reaper Origin trait do bonus damage to targets that are affected by a stasis debuff. Since our Nova Bomb and our Vortex Grenade are void abilities, if we hit the enemy real quick with our Chill Clip Lingering Dread, we'll get more damage. That is the main reason I have it here, although I would say it's not one of the most important parts of this little fun gimmicky setup. Now to fill out the rest of the mods, I just have quality of life mods. For example, our harmonic loader for acquire 1 to reload it quicker, harmonic dexterity. I do have a heavy-handed mod because we do have 3 charges of our arcane needle, although you could very easily just make this a heavy-handed, a firepower for your grenades if you want to prefer that way of making orbs between your grenade and melee ability. Heavy ammo finder, and then siphon mods on the helmet. Whoop-de-doo. Charged up so we can hold more armor charges. Stacks on stacks so we can get to 3 to make more special finishers more often. Good old recoup, tried and true. You can't hate on recoup. And then harmonic scavenger. And then we already went over the very importantness of proximity ward on our class item. I know the build's a bit gimmicky and you do need a little bit of RNG luck to have Spirit of the Assassin on your exotic class item, but that is the fun shenanigans of this Warlock build and all the chaos you can create just by finishing enemies and how safe you are when doing set action, because if you're gonna do it and finish the enemies, you better do it right, baby. Also, heavy weapon, go ahead, feel free, pick whatever the hell you want, doesn't really matter that much. Now of course, ladies and gentlemen, I will have a dim link for this setup at the top of the description if you do want to go ahead and mess around with my exact setup with the weapons and all copy pasted. Of course, as long as you got those core 4 components, you can really change it up to match your playstyle, however you want to go about it. And I do want to say that I'm not trying to say this is like some insane uber meta build. We already did that yesterday for a really high damaging setup for Warlocks, but I thought this one was pretty fun and a little bit more different way to go about playing this game, because it just incentivizes you, get enemies low and go finish, and just keep spam finishing all the enemies. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on it down below in the comments. You guys be safe, take care, do consider subscribing, and I will see your beautiful faces in the next one. Peace out, everybody.